After serving as vice president, Kamala Harris is ready to take the reins and lead the country.
Sometimes people will open the door for you and leave it open. Sometimes they won't. And then you need to kick that door down.
She's positioned to make history once again as the first Black and Asian American woman to lead a major party ticket. And if she wins, she'll be the first Black and Asian American woman to become president of the United States. Now that's some serious girl power. We know a lot about her public image, but what about her personal life? Let's find out. Before she got married, Kamala Harris had some pretty interesting relationships. She dated talk show host Montel Williams and former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown. Yep, you heard that right. So Kamala and Willie Brown dated until 1996. Fun fact, Brown actually advised Harris to decline the VP role if Joe Biden offered it to her. He suggested she aim for the U.S. Attorney General position instead. He said being on the presidential ticket was a huge honor, but also historically a dead end. What do you say now, Willie?
Who is this guy?
Then, around 2001, Kamala dated Montel Williams. According to Inside Edition, Williams revealed on X, formerly Twitter, that they dated 20 years ago, and he still admires her. They even walked the red carpet together at the 8th annual Race to Erase MS in Los Angeles, along with Williams' daughter Ashley. Looks like Kamala had some serious star power before her political stardom. But these relationships weren't the endgame for Kamala. She found her one true love on a blind date.
So my best friend, who was like a sister to me, called me up and she's like, I need you to go out with this guy.
So Kamala Harris met her now husband, Doug Emhoff, thanks to a mutual friend, Chrisette Hudlin, in 2013. Harris shared this story in her 2019 book, The Truths We Hold. Her friend told her about a cute guy in LA named Doug Emhoff and urged her to meet him without Googling him first. Spoiler, she totally Googled him.
You totally Googled him, didn't you?
Ooh, this is a reveal.
I've never been asked that. I did.
A few days later, Emhoff sent her an awkward text while at a basketball game.
And came up with this text, which was something like, hey, it's Doug. Awkward.
They exchanged messages and planned to talk on the phone the next day. Emhoff left a long, rambling voicemail that he thought ruined his chances.
I dial the number, of course she doesn't answer. And then I'm like, hey, it's Doug. and it's 4 or 5 minutes of that. I'm like, oh my goodness.
But Harris found it endearing. Sometimes it's the imperfect moments that make us fall for someone, right?
He just kept going and going and, okay, well, I guess I'll talk to you at some point. And he just kept going. We'd laugh about it, but I did. It's the sweetest thing ever.
They finally talked on the phone, and the conversation flowed effortlessly. Kamala and Doug made plans for dinner in LA that Saturday. Harris was immediately impressed by how genuine and comfortable he was with himself. It was love at first sight.
We were literally talking about our future by the end of that first date, and that next morning I'm sending her an email. Here are my availabilities for the next 6 months. And 10 years later, 11 years later, here we are.
Now that's a guy who's ready to put his heart on the table. Totally the, if he wanted to, he would type.
Who said I love you first? And where were we?
He did.
By the way, before Kamala, Doug Emhoff was married to Kirsten Emhoff, née Machen. They hit it off, married in 1992, and had 2 kids, Cole and Ella, before their divorce in 2008. Kirsten once shared with Politico that she was surprised to marry a lawyer, saying, I like really smart people, and he's incredibly smart.
I was a lawyer. I was actually a Hollywood lawyer for many, many years.
You were a Hollywood lawyer?
A Hollywood lawyer, yeah.
Harris, a child of divorce herself, wanted to take things slow before meeting his kids.
You know, children create such attachment. And until I was sure that he and I had something that was real, I didn't want to do that to the kids.
They waited about 2 months, but when she finally met them, Cole and Ella were incredibly welcoming. Harris credits them for reeling her in, even more than Doug did. In her book, Kamala recounts that Emhoff proposed while she was frantically searching for a pair of missing pants. They were about to leave for a romantic vacation to Italy, and she was stressed about packing. Emhoff arrived at her apartment, and after they decided to order takeout, he got down on one knee and proposed. Harris was so focused on her missing pants that she didn't realize what was happening at first. When it finally clicked, she burst into tears and said yes. Oh, it's like a scene straight out of a romantic movie. How cute.
What's a nickname that your husband calls you?
honey, babe.
The regular.
Yeah.
So Harris and Emhoff tied the knot on August 22, 2014, in a small ceremony officiated by Harris's sister Maya. Emhoff's kids and Harris decided against using the term stepmom, opting for a more affectionate option.
Their word for me is Mamala, and so they call me Mamala.
In 2017, after Harris was elected as one of California's senators, she and Emhoff spent more time in Washington, D.C. Emhoff began teaching law at Georgetown University in January 2020. Then, on January 20th, 2021, Kamala Harris was sworn in as vice president, making Emhoff the first ever second gentleman and the first Jewish spouse of a president or vice president in American history.
So, first of all, I'm married to the first woman ever to hold this role. So first of all, be a really good husband.
He has since championed causes like access to legal aid, fighting anti-Semitism, and reproductive rights. Now that's a power couple making history together.
I was raised to understand that the rights that we fight for will not be permanent unless we are vigilant in fighting for them to continue.
As for Doug Emhoff's ex-wife Kirsten, she is on very good terms with Kamala. Kamala Harris has always praised Kirsten, calling her an incredible mother and a dear friend. In fact, they hit it off so well that they became a dynamic duo at the kids' sports events, as Kamala shared in her essay for Elle. She and I became a duo of cheerleaders in the bleachers at Ella's swim meets and basketball games, often to Ella's embarrassment. We sometimes joke that our modern family is almost a little too functional.
I love Sunday family dinner. It's just whoever's in town, the kids.
Kirsten has been crucial in making Kamala's role as a stepmom smooth. Harris once said, "The thing about blended families, if everyone approaches it in the way that there's plenty of love to share, then it works." And get this, Kirsten has been a huge supporter of Harris's political career. When Kamala was running for president, Kirsten was cheering her on with Instagram posts like, "All she needs now is a cape." She celebrated the Biden-Harris ticket and was thrilled when they won. She even joined Doug and the kids at Kamala's inauguration.
We did it, Joe. You're gonna be the next president of the United States.
Years later, Kirsten's still rallying for Kamala, like when she posted a Time magazine cover imagining Kamala as the Democratic nominee on July 21st, 2024. That's the power of manifestation.
Who would be your vice president?
Now, what's your take? Do you believe Kamala Harris's personal experiences and support system will help her succeed as president? Drop your comments below.